Hedera Hbar could be about to see some pretty severe downside action in the short term when this happens in just a couple of weeks' time. But don't worry guys, I've got your back. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think is going on right now with HBAR and how you can prepare for what is about to happen. So do me a favor, hit that like button, hit subscribe. Let's get into this video. So the big piece of news coming up for HBAR is a big token unlock. Now what that means effectively is more tokens will flood onto the market, and this ultimately increases very quickly the supply while the demand remains the same. This is a little bit worrying, but it does present us with a little bit of an opportunity. And you're probably wondering, well, what does this really mean? But ultimately the market cap, which we see here on Hedera, is $1.6 billion. Fully diluted market cap is $2.6 billion. And you're like, well, what's the difference? Well, the token price is just over 5 cents. And the number of tokens in supply at the moment is 31.3 billion HBAR. And fully diluted means that if all of the tokens were released, this is the valuation. So the difference between these two indicate that HBAR actually probably does have a little bit more downside action to come. And that is not necessarily an ideal thing. So fundamentally though, we've got to understand some different things. We're about to see 1.2 billion tokens on June the 1st getting launched onto the network. If we come back across to the circulating supplies and we see the circulating supply is 31.3 billion, well, we can work out that the actual release of tokens will be around 3 or 4% of the total value of Hedera. And this is a daily chart for HBAR. In this single day here, it fell by 7%. Back on the 19th of April, in a single day, it fell nearly 11%. So you're probably realizing that actually this release of new tokens onto the network isn't really as drastically bad as many people are making out. And if we jump across to this piece of news, Hedera is announcing a 182-year-old company as a new council member. COFRA, which predominantly caters to the end user, has joined the governing council of Hedera Hbar and intends to create cutting-edge blockchain-based solutions on Hedera. And as we know, Hedera is trying to create the next generation of finance, offering low fixed fees, blazing fast transactions, immediate settlement, and modern development workflows. It's been easier to build the next generation of financial software on the open source public Hedera network. Currently, there's $65 million total locked, 20,000 smart contracts and 40,000 plus smart contract transactions. Is this really going to be affected by the release of tokens onto the platform? No. Ultimately, the release of more tokens, although not ideal, is ultimately just catering more to the performance of Hedera network. And Hedera is already recognized by tons of incredible companies around the world, which means that Hedera is working towards what it always has been working towards. The fact that this news has been launched isn't really of any surprise. And when it comes to news about any token, when we know what the news is likely to be and how it's going to affect everything, ultimately this factors into the price anyway. So if there is some negative thing that's about to happen about any particular coin in the coming months, and we know exactly when the date is, then it's already priced in. The same goes for like the Ethereum network when it had that upgrade and everyone was like, oh, well, Ethereum will bounce massively in price. It did go up a little bit, but ultimately, because it was expected, it was already factored into the price. This is basic rules of how the markets work. And that's why you should buy the rumors and sell the news, okay? But ultimately, if this does cause a little dip in the HBAR price, I actually don't think that it's going to be a bad thing. Right now, as I've told you in a few different videos I've made, if you are serious about making money in crypto right now, you actually want these projects to continue to take further dips towards the downside. If you believe in the long-term benefits of HBAR and the long-term things that they're working to achieve, you'll understand that the cheaper you can get into this particular coin, the better your opportunity. And as I look across to this HBAR chart, which has actually seen a drop since the 12th of February of around 46%, which is pretty sizable, but that gives us a good opportunity going forward. We know that the growth of this platform is going to be insane, breaking its own records pretty much every single day. We're destined for good things. So is this a good time to be buying HBAR? I hear you ask. Well guys, if we look across to what happened in the past, we can see that we do have this area of interest, right? We had these very big pushes in these two candles. We had a very big push. This indicates that larger wallets were purchasing in this area. And we can see down below it, which is where the buy zone would be, that we are now dragging it across, and we can see that we are literally interacting in this zone. Now on the channel yesterday, I showed you exactly how you could spy on massive wallets to see what they're buying. And I'll link that to the end of this video, so make sure you go and check that out afterwards. But really, it's painful to buy into these dips. But ultimately, if you want to be making money in crypto, this is when you've got your best opportunity. Do I think it's going to go lower than where it is right now? Well, we are seeing Bitcoin doing something a bit weird. If Bitcoin takes a dump towards the downside, you will see HBAR and other cryptos going with it. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. We've got a good opportunity to be buying in this buy zone right now. You can see that since the bottom of this, we've been up 6%. HBAR looking to stabilize here. Not a huge amount of volume in the markets. If we are taking a drop further, guys, you could see HBAR returning to the lows that it saw basically earlier on this year before it started this rally towards the upside. But I want to show you what happened. Last time we dropped into this area, it rocketed all the way up 169%, which is why you want to be buying in these areas when there's really not a huge amount going on. Obviously, that's not financial advice. You need to do your own research and identify if you like HBAR, whether you think it's going places. Yes, if we saw a 3% drop, you literally will remain in this buy zone, okay? So that news, although a little bit negative, doesn't necessarily strike a huge amount of fear into me. I just wanted to address that because I know a lot of people get affected quite heavily by the news and things they're reading. Ultimately, the price charts will always tell us what we should be doing, and that's where I want to be paying my most attention. So guys, if I was having $100 to invest in HBAR right now, probably I would put in about $50 to $75 here. If it gets down towards this level, then I got $50 or $75 to average my cost that I paid down. So for example, this is 5 cents, this is 3 cents 50. If I bought $50 here, $50 here, then I would end up with an average of around 4 cents rather than paying 5 cents 30. So, and that would be good, guys, because 4 cents would see me seeing 130% gain towards that top. But if I went all in here, then I would only see 90% towards that top, but ultimately still looking very strong. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit subscribe, get on my free Telegram, and I'll see you in the very next video. Bye-bye.